I'm Alex, and this month I'm going to be doing a budget walkthrough with you guys just to show you how I do my monthly budget and maybe just to give you some inspiration to figure out how you want to do your own. I feel like there's a really bad rep with budgeting and everyone thinks it's like so restrictive and nobody wants to do it. During these crazy times you might need to set a super restrictive budget, but just know that that doesn't have to be the way of life forever. I'm sure there are many of you that are just scared to start budgeting because you think that you have to cut out everything you love, but that is not the case. Budgeting helps me track where my money is going, and then I can spend more in areas that matter to me and cut in areas that I don't really care about. Budgeting is all about your mindset, and it's as dynamic or as restrictive as you make it to be. I use the zero-based budgeting method, so that's what I'm going to be showing you how to do today. This is something I do every month, the last day of the month, just to make sure that my spending is on track. I'm keeping up with my savings goals, my investment goals, and just making sure that I'm actually spending money where I want to be spending money. So I'm just gonna bring you guys over to my screen now, and we're just gonna walk through my monthly budget so I can show you exactly what I would do. I'm also using the exact budget template that's available on my website so you can see how to use it. So if you're interested to download it afterwards, I will leave a link for you guys. So here we are at my April budget spreadsheet. I've already put in the budget values because I do that at the end of the previous month. So I'm just going to put in my actual values that I spent, and then I will show you how I do those budget values for the next month. So I will do the May budget section with you. So usually I will just log right onto my online banking and just add up the values as I go down the list. But I just don't want to worry about blocking out the account numbers and all of those things. So I've just gone ahead and made these tables with all of the transactions that I have on my 2 credit cards and then on my debit card. Okay, let's do it. So I wasn't sure if I was actually allowed to share my exact income, so we're just gonna go with a whole number and say that it's $3,000 per month. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add in $1,500 for each paycheck, and I like to add them in separately like that, just so that when I click on it, I can see the separate transactions. That's just a personal preference for me. I didn't work any shifts at my other job. I did get, you can see here, I got an e-transfer from a friend for $73.02, so I'm gonna add that in here. $73.02, and then I was expecting this income tax return, but I also got another tax return of $443, so I'm just gonna add that in as well as income. So that should be good, and I just have this summary tab up here. So whenever I add stuff in here, it'll automatically show up here just as a little summary at the top. And then you can see here, it's also gonna show in my graph here. So let's go down the line. I spent $73.50 on my dance classes this month, and I did not spend anything on taxis, car shares, Ubers. I usually will put about $100 budget, but since I am not going anywhere, that is $0 for this month. So, and then my cell phone bill is $60. So that's here. I just transfer my dad. He's the one that pays the bill. So you can see I transferred $350 into savings. So that is $130 into travel, $100 into my emergency fund. Then it was $50 into shopping, $20 into charity, and then I also put an extra $50 into my slush fund this month. Cool. So if you add that all up, that equals $350, so that's what that's for. Now let's go back to my investments. So on the 1st and the 16th of the month, $775 comes out of my account, and 620 of that is going into my down payment fund in my TFSA, and then 155 of that each time is going into my RRSP for retirement. So that is great. So I've met my minimum savings goals, investments goals already this month, so I'm super happy with that. And I actually also saved a little bit more money this month than usual because of these income tax returns as well. So I've already transferred the $443 to my emergency fund. So I'm just gonna add that in. And then I also, just by looking through here, noticed that I haven't actually transferred the other income tax return yet. So I'm going to do that today, $149.39. And so that's gonna also go into my emergency fund, $149.39. And again, I just like to see those separate transactions. That's just a personal preference. So I've put a lot more into my emergency fund than I expected to, which is awesome, and I'm super happy with that. So let's keep going down the list. Groceries. So I spent $12.69, $98.65, and $51.55. And I believe that is all. If you've been following along the Share the Goods campaign that my family and I did, we shopped at Costco to get a family groceries, and since I don't have a MasterCard, I wasn't allowed to pay for it. My ultimate plan was to put $200 on my card and have my dad pay for the rest, but that didn't work out. So I've been buying groceries for my family this month and trying to get up to that $200 mark, but almost there. So eating out, alcohol, that's gone down this month. So I only did takeout from Cactus Club. So usually I put $150 towards eating out and like drinks out with friends and things. Obviously I was way off this month. So personal care, that is usually my skincare. So that's the Sephora order. So that is $197.57. But that e-transfer from my friend was towards that Sephora purchase. So I'm just gonna go ahead and minus $73.02 because that's how much my stuff was worth. And then I'm gonna add in Sephora for a friend here, just to show, just for me to know that it wasn't me spending that money, but I just want to have that through the cash flow, so I still have it coming in here and out here, but I just want to make sure that I know that it's not me spending that money. Anyways, again, personal preference. So let's see, clothing, I thought I would spend around $150, and I ended up spending $175.62 plus $22.40. So I ended up spending about $50 more on clothes this month than I thought I would. Honestly, I'm okay with that, and I like the clothes that I got, so that's okay with me. And okay, so let's keep going down to my business expenses. So I'm taking a course right now. Where is that? here. 123.76. I got some presets that I didn't budget for. I also did that new links in bio thing. This is for the whole year, so this isn't every month. That's just a one-time purchase that I thought was worth it. I do the Adobe photography plan, $16. I did a keywords thing for 15 bucks. That's again just a one-time thing. And then my email plan, that's an every month thing. That's $40.96. And then I think that's everything for my business expenses. Okay, so I forgot to add Amazon books and games. So let's put that here. Oh, here it is, $45.50. So you can see I wasn't expecting to spend money there. I didn't budget anything for that, but I ended up spending it there. So you can see I'm quite a bit over budget in what I thought I would spend, but I'm also really off on like the categories. So I spent way less here than I thought, more here than I thought, more here than I thought, more here than I thought, and more here, and yeah. So those are going to be things that I'm going to be taking into account for when I do my May planning. Now I have these fun little graphs just to show you where you're at, and then we can go look at it further, cutting out the income. My savings goals were a huge part of this month, which is awesome. My fixed expenses are really, really small. Reminder, I live at home, I don't pay rent. As you can see, all I pretty much pay for is my cell phone bill and my like fitness. So usually when I'm at work, I'll spend more here getting to and from work. But those are my only must expenses right now. And yeah, this is just a cool way to look at where your money is going. And then I've also added this on just for myself to see. This isn't on the budget template, but this is where I just check in with myself and keep track of how much is in my savings, how much I've invested, and just my net worth, just to keep track. So I'm just gonna go ahead, log into my bank accounts, check that out, and fill in this table. Okay, so I've filled in this table. This is how much I have in savings. This is how much I've personally invested, and this is how much my investments are worth. And then my net worth is just my net investment value plus the net savings I have. So I'm just gonna scroll back up to the top and look at this monthly summary. So it shows that I should have $83.19 left over at the end of the month. So I thought I would have $485.17 left at the end of the month, but I ended up spending $366 more than that, and now I have only $83.19 left in my bank account. So I'm gonna take that into account when I do my May budget now, because obviously I was way off on my budget, and I know it's really hard right now to try to think in advance where your money might go, but I'm gonna try to do a little bit of a better job for May. So for me personally, as I said before, I do the zero-based budgeting method. So in my bank account, I'm going to have $83.19, and I'm actually going to transfer that into my slush fund. So I should have $0 left over because every dollar is going to have a purpose. So my slush fund is still my spending money, so I want to keep it that way, but I don't want to just keep it in my checking account because I will probably spend it on something stupid that I don't really care about. And when I transfer it into my slush fund, it helps me to save up for bigger purchases. I'm gonna transfer it into this account first and just think about what I actually want to use it for. But I also like to put it into my savings account because it gets interest. Right now it's getting 2% interest versus the 0.05 that it would get just sitting in my checking account. So we can see at the end of the month I have $0 left over because I've allocated every single dollar somewhere, whether that's savings, whether that's spending on something that I care about, it's all accounted for. So now I'm going to go over to the May tab and just walk you through how I'm going to predict my spending for next month. So same goes here. I have expected about $3,000 for my job, and I'm not expecting any money from my second job or any refunds or anything like that. So I'm expecting to spend the exact same amount on fitness, nothing on Uber, and $60 on my cell phone. That's all I can think of. So savings goals, always the same. And again, whatever is left over at the end of the month, that will go here, just extra savings. And then if we keep going down, I'm expecting to spend $100 on groceries. So what I'm gonna do for this month is I'm actually gonna bump up my groceries to $200. So I'm gonna increase that by $100, and then I'm gonna decrease this eating out budget by $50. So hopefully that will make a little bit more sense. Again, I'm hoping to keep my grocery budget up high so that I can help provide groceries for others. So I've already spent my money at Sephora this month. I'm not expecting to spend anything next month. Household supplies, nothing. Clothing, I'm gonna keep that at $150 and try to stay under that this month. This will be the last month I'm paying for this course, so then in June that will be gone. But I will be paying every month for this photography plan and my email plan. I had a couple add-ons last month that I wasn't expecting, so I might just put miscellaneous and add in about $100 here and just give myself a little bit of a buffer. So I'm expecting to have around $335 left over. So now that I have all of that done, I'm just gonna think really hard about what might be coming up in May. So first thing I think about is Mom's birthday. So I'm gonna budget about $50 towards that. If I end up spending more than that, I can either try to cash flow it with this extra amount, or I can transfer out of this shopping and gifts fund that I have because that's what it's meant for. So I have a bunch of options and this is looking pretty good. So as things come up, I might change my budget section throughout the month if I think of anything else. But for right now, I'm going to keep it like this. I'm just making sure that I'm spending less than what I make every single month, unless something big comes up, something happens that I have to transfer out of savings. But that's what it's there for. So at the end of the day, I go into the month of May just thinking about where my money is going to be going, knowing that I have about $285 as a buffer. So if I wanted to spend an extra $50 on my clothing again, or I wanted to spend more on my mom's birthday gift, or just transfer it all into savings, I get to choose what I want to do with that money and not stress about not having enough at the end of the month. So that's it. That's how I do my monthly budget. I hope this video was helpful for you, and I hope I've inspired some of you to start a monthly budget of your own. Let me know what you guys thought of the video. I would love to know in the comments. If you want to see more in the future, let me know. So thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.